Day 2 of this Celebration 2019 adventure is on. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Now, I'm calling this my Day 2 of Celebration, even though it's technically Day 1 of Celebration proper. It's actually Day 2 of this journey of doing this the second year in a row, and today was quite the day. You already can hear it in my voice, it's already going. And I'm recording this the night of Day 2 instead of the morning of Day 3, but I'm gonna post it the day of Day 3, so it'll work out either way. But today was actually a lot of fun. Today was really kind of bonkers. So me and Stone got together this morning, and of course I'm operating an hour ahead, so I woke up at 5:45 this morning, of course after going to bed at 1. So I got very little sleep, but when Stone woke up, he came and he picked me up. I went and got my badge, and then we went out for breakfast. But here's the cool thing that happened while I was getting my badge. And a lot of this video is going to be kind of talking about, I guess, what this, I don't know, celebrity seems like a bad word, but there's definitely, you know, it's much bigger. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Last year I came to Celebration with 6,000 subscribers, and this year we're almost to 17,000. Now, what does that mean? It means the difference is huge. Last year, I think I got spotted maybe twice, and it was really nice. And it was like, oh, cool, I'm so happy, you know, you guys watch my channel. Actually, it was probably more like maybe three or four times. But this year, this year is bonkers. This year, I'm getting recognized everywhere. I didn't even realize that was going to happen, but you know, that's what's happening. You know, the channel and the community and everything that we've built here has just grown in such big numbers that, you know, of course, if I come to Celebration, like, that's our people, right? Like, I'm not just gonna walk down the street and people notice me, but at Paisley, of course people are gonna notice me. So I went to go pick up my ticket, and they forgot the meal badge thing, so the lady who was doing it, her name's Karen, very nice, she pulled me aside and she said, hey, you know, while I'm getting this for you and everything, like, there was another guy over there who was saying that you might have, like, a show of some sort, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, actually, I have a YouTube channel, you know, I like to do reviews and stuff. And then there was another guy in the line who came up and said, yeah, that's Prince's friend. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, you better recognize. And it was a really cool moment. And that guy was very cool. And another guy that I met as well, his name was Chris, if I recall. I'm just trying to remember everybody's name. It's a blur. There's so many people here. So it was really cool. And then I went over to the booth that was selling merch, and I got to meet a couple of the employees of Paisley who were there working the merch booth at the hotel, and they were, you know, fans of the channel, so we talked a little bit as well. That's what today, a lot of today was. It was a lot of me kind of talking to people who were friends of the channel. So after that, we went out to breakfast. We went to Perkins, and I had a good breakfast with Stone. I mean, that part's kind of uneventful. So I'll skip ahead. So after that, I was feeling exhausted, so I didn't get much sleep. I decided to go ahead and take a nap. When I woke up, I got a text from the friend of mine who won the additional ticket to the Shelby show. Her name's Tanya, and she's amazing. So I met up with her, and we kind of planned how we were going to get her into the show and everything, because the show wasn't until 10, but, you know, it was like 3. And then, of course, in true Prince's Friend fashion, oh, and also I'm wearing my Wally shirt, so shout out to Wally. But also, in true Prince's Friend fashion, I was late to I was late to Celebration. so there was an issue with my ride, and then traffic was bad. But this time I was like, last time I was like 35 minutes late, and I just missed like the whole first thing. This time I was like 5-10 minutes late, so it wasn't super bad this time. And I went ahead and got to go into Paisley, and it was really nice. Everybody's super great there as always, and there were a few people who were security and who worked there, employees and stuff, and I got to see them and say hi to them again, and they remembered me from last year, which was nice. So the events at Paisley, what went on today? Today was Shelby Johnson Day. So the very first thing that we got was unreleased footage of a really cool Morris Day and the Time concert, which I guess back then it was just the Time. And it was really fun. What I've learned is that the audio for this performance has already been out there for years, I guess. It's not one that I've heard. However, this was now the video with that, and it involved a lot. Oh my God, the Time is such a funny group. There was just so much humor in the group that I really loved. Overall, the footage itself was, it was old footage, and St. Paul was in the group, and Monty was gone, Jimmy Jam was gone, Terry Lewis was gone, Jesse was still there, and of course Jelly Bean was playing like a madman on the drums. So there was definitely, like, you could tell what era they were in, but based on the people on the stage. But it was an amazing show. I think probably my favorite part of it, and it was probably the funniest part, was when Morris said, like, Jesse, and then like Jesse goes into like this amazing guitar solo, but the camera doesn't know where Jesse is. So like, it's literally like, you hear this amazing guitar solo, but the camera's like, it's like looking at feet, and it's looking over here, and it's trying to find Jesse. And like, I busted out laughing in the middle of the concert because of that. And I heard a couple other people laughing too, but like, I was just like, oh my God, they can't find him. But I mean, it was, old footage and whatever. That might be why the audio was the thing that's been out. The second thing that happened was it was going to be a panel with Shelby Johnson himself, but it was actually less of like a Q&A or whatever, or a panel, because I think he didn't feel like taking questions. So he mostly just talked about his relationship with Prince, and how it had its ups and its downs, but in the end, he loved him and all that stuff. I thought that it was actually really good, and like, I felt I could feel the connection that he had to this man that he was talking about, even when he was talking about how Prince was trying to blackball him in the business and everything. Like, you could hear it wasn't anger, it was hurt, and there was a lot of that in what he said. And he rambled a bit, but it worked out. Like, it was him. Like, I felt him. It was good. And that was like 40 minutes or so. Like, it wasn't super long, but again, he rambled like how I do sometimes. So then it was time for a meal. So I have the meal pass, so I had vegan food. So it was rice and beans and kale and sweet potato and a cookie. And it was pretty good. It was pretty tasty. The kale and sweet potatoes was really good. And the rice was pretty tasty. I know, riveting, right? So after that, it was time for the first half of the Paisley Park tour. This time I actually had the same tour guide as last year. His name was Tommy. But it was less of a tour and less of a, all right, you can be in this area, go ahead and walk around for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll go on to the next thing. So that was kind of interesting. It was definitely different. It wasn't guided. It wasn't, let me tell you stories about what this means and what this is. It was more like, hey, just kind of go around and look. But also the biggest thing that I noticed was, instead of a group of about 10 or 12 people like I had last year, this year was closer to 20 to 25, maybe even 30 people. I'm not even sure. But it was a big group that was in there this time. I'm wondering if that's indicative of just how they organized and scheduled and separated people for each different event, or if that is telling that maybe they sold way more tickets this year. I would love to see a rise in the attendance because last year there was actually a drop-off from year one. So I'm hoping that this year has really good numbers. That would be really good. Like, that would make me feel good because, you know, I feel like, even though, like, I'm not here on a media pass or whatever, but I did actually, I got people here. I feel like I did, at least. There were some people who were already coming, but I know, for instance, I know of it, definitely one person who showed up because she was in my group and in my tour group, and she came up to me and she said, hey, if you remember, there was a commenter in one of your videos and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come, and I was reluctant, and you told me to come, and I'm here. And I'm like, that's just beautiful. I was like, come here, give me a hug. But she was awesome. But, you know, that was the thing. Oh, that was the thing. So the first two things were very like, sit in a dark room and like, that's just what you're doing. But when lunchtime came, you know, I got lots of people who were coming over and saying hi. I got lots of selfies that I've posted on Facebook, or I'm going to post on Facebook. But you can go and check out a bunch of selfies that I took with so many people who, you know, love what we're doing here. You know, we're talking about Prince, we're talking about his legacy, and we're spreading the truth, and we're spreading his message, and that's what we're doing here. And you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be here and experience so much love. There was a point when I was in line, we were getting ready to go on the tour, with the person in front of me was like, oh my God, I love your channel. And then the person behind me was like, oh my God, yeah, his channel is so good. And then the other person was like, you know, this video, that video that you did really good. And I'm just like, like, I'm like, I thank you. You know, like it's almost overwhelming, but almost in the best way possible. It's overwhelming. So that's definitely not me complaining about anything. I'm loving that what I'm doing here and making these videos, and, you know, it's showing me that my hard work is paying off. You know, the time that I've been investing into the channel and in the research and trying to get you guys good reviews and good information, spreading my interpretation of Prince's music and how I view this great man. I love that it's getting out there and people are responding. And again, it's like, of course, you know, if I was to go, you know, down the street to the Krispy Kreme, I wouldn't expect to get noticed. But like at Paisley, I should probably at least get noticed by a couple people. But it wasn't a couple people, it was so many people, and I'm so blown away. And again, fast forward if you're tired of hearing me talk about how everybody knew who I was, but it was just really, really amazing. So after lunch, we did the tour, and then Shelby Johnson came out and performed. Now, let me tell you this. A lot of people have been asking me, where's the Shelby Johnson reviews? And honestly, I haven't done any. I downloaded a couple of his albums, and I listened to them, and I was like, this is good, but like, you know, it's good. It was nothing that really jumped out at me. However, seeing him live and experiencing how good of a guitar player he is, like, I could actually, it was an interesting thing because like he was on stage, and when he was doing like, his dance music and everything, people were dancing. But he went into, I think, at least 3 or 4 different like long guitar solos. And while I saw other people kind of checking out, because like, oh man, this thing's going too low, like I was like so digging it. Like, guitar was a big reason why I loved Prince, and like listening to I think I get Shelby Johnson now, just based on how hard he went on that guitar. Like, it was real good. I won't give too much away because it was just an amazing show. It's something you'd have to be there for. But you know, I would say expect a Jesse Johnson actual review coming up here soon, because seeing him live has inspired me to go and check out more of his stuff, because he is a truly talented musician. So hands down, really amazing show. I was hanging out with Lenny, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, this is gonna be amazing." Oh, I was hanging out with Funkatopia too. I was hanging out with Mr. Christopher. Oh my gosh, so many people I got to run into today. I got to run into Darling Nisi from the Muse of the Pharaoh, and also Chloe Calvin from Muse of the Pharaoh as well. I got to hang out. Not really hang out with them, but I ran into them at least. I got to say hi. They're in a different group than I'm in, so I didn't. We're not hanging. But no, so I don't even remember what I was saying. But anyway, I was told that the first group that came in saw Jesse, and Jesse killed it, and he killed it again on the second one. So there you go. So after Jesse Johnson, I got a ride from my friend Renee over to the Shelby Johnson show. Now, I have been talking for months, guys. I've been talking for months, and I've been telling you that Thursday night, Shelby J's show is the show that you want to be at. And for anybody who was at this show, you know that I wasn't lying. This show was so good. And she played a bunch of her songs off of her album. She did some covers. She did a couple of Prince tribute tunes. Amazing show. I don't have any footage or anything to show you, because the actual show was being filmed, so they weren't allowing cameras and stuff. But you know, obviously when that actual show comes out, I'll review the DVD or the pay-per-view or whatever, so you can check it out. But oh my gosh, the concert was so good. Her voice was on point. Not only was she amazing, but Adrian Crutchfield, who was on the stage, was really good. The drummer, who's her older sister, she was great. The bassist, his name is Tripp, he was really good. The guitarist, I believe his name was Stanley. Oh, I'm hoping I get that right. Really great player. And the background singers were really great. But then, like, the show ended with a whole bunch of the other Prince alum who just so happened to be in the crowd coming up on stage. So Ida Nielsen came up and took over the bass. Renato Nito came up and started playing on the keys. And then they brought up a whole bunch of people, and they were all dancing. They did the Soul Train thing. It was just so awesome. The show was so energetic. And I heard her song God Is Here live, and it was way better live. It was like even better. Like, it's already a great song, but it was even better live than it is on the record, on the single that she put out. So that show was really cool. And then at the very end of the show, oh my gosh, at the very end of the show, she says, thank you everybody, I love you all, hey, I see you, Prince's friend. And then the whole crowd turned around and like looked at me, and I was like, oh gosh. And then she left to go do like her little meet and greet, but like I was kind of doing like my own little meet and greet. I said hi to at least another dozen or so people who were gracious enough to like share their stories, and I got a button. I got a button, if you can see this. Yeah, there you go. It's some purple Canadian love that I got from Pat, if I recall. Oh my gosh, so many names. Oh my gosh, it's all a blur. I'm meeting so many people, but I'm so thankful for like each and every one of the people who is coming up and saying like, I love your channel, keep doing what you're doing. Oh my gosh, like it just blows me away. And then I actually got to get a picture with Shelby, which was nice. I actually got to hug her. I actually got to hug her a few times. So that was really nice. She has a great smile, great hugger. She's shorter than I thought she was. She comes up to about right here, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And then I was like, cool, I guess it's time to go. So now I'm back at my hotel room, and I'm winding down from a really amazing day and recording this for you. So now I'm gonna go and edit this and put it up in the morning. So as always, obviously, if you are enjoying these, Don't forget to follow me on social media at PrincessFriendYT. We've been posting a bunch of stuff there. We also have a page on PrincessFriend.com that we've been kind of taking all of the things that I've been posting everywhere and putting them all into one place. We actually had one person who said, "And your website's really cool," and I'm like, oh, yes. You know, we've been putting a lot of work into the website, so go check it out, princessfriend.com. It's actually, it's nice. It's a nice little resource for stuff. And obviously, if you want to help support the channel directly, you can become a patron, patreon.com/princessfriend. And I think I'm done. I think I'm going to stop talking because my voice is going. But until the next video, I love you and may you live to see the dawn.